Arturo Riera here with Latin Percussion and one of the greats of the modern age today, Michael Spiro, based in San Francisco, California. How are you, Michael Spiro?
I'm excellent. Nice to see you, Arturo, always.
Now, you know, you are known as somebody who's being very facile and actually playing two styles of music from two very different countries, and even within those countries knowing many styles as well. But today we're going to focus on your activities with California Brazil Camp, which has been going on for many years now, and you've been faculty there. Tell us a little bit about your activities and, you know, your work with LP there.
Well, the first thing I would say is that the camp for me is an amazingly wonderful opportunity because although I am faculty there, I really feel that I get to go be a student. The breadth and array of teachers that are there from Brazil is just out of this world. And so while generally I teach the class of the Bataquetu class, which is based on the album that Mark Lamson and I did many years ago, demonstrating the relationship of the music from Brazil and Cuba. And that's sort of the cornerstone of my job at the camp. And then I also sort of the lieutenant, and I run to this class and that class and this dance class and help out with the candomblé class and so forth. So I'm sort of the teacher's aide. But it really is a wonderful opportunity for me to study and stay current. It's my professional development. Mm-hmm. And as such, then, the second part of the question about with LP, I'm in the candomblé class in the morning, conga drums. I'm in the helping with the bateria class in the afternoon, repique, caixa, surdo, cuica. Taking the pagoji class, tantan, rebolo. In other words, all day long, all I'm doing is using the instruments that LP makes. So it's not just sort of a related kind of a thing. It's a completely integrated part of the thing.
Now, the great thing about California Brazil Camp is it's 2 weeks long.
Right.
It really is a camp.
Yeah. Quite literally a camp. Yes.
And it really combines all the Brazilian arts. So you have percussion, you have singing, you have dancing,
you have guitar,
instrumentalists there.
It's top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
It used to be even, Arturo, back in originally, because they're going into their 16th year, it used to be capoeira as well. Mm-hmm. So the capoeiristas were 24/7, and I mean 24. You could hear berimbau all day, all night. And then it actually just got too big, they had to separate it out.
Right.
But I think that's the other great thing about the camp is that usually it's a percussion camp or it's a jazz camp, or this thing is all of it. Dance, singing, instrumentalists, percussion, all integrated into one camp.
And they actually bring Brazil to the Bay Area. And tell us a little bit about that, because I've seen Jorge Alabe there, and I've seen so many names. You tell me.
Well, I think again, one of the cornerstones of this camp is that, of course, for financial reasons, they have to bring Brazilians who live here in the States, but then they spend the money to bring the Brazilians from Brazil in large numbers. And so, for example, the guy who's going to teach the advanced bateria this year is the director of the bateria of the most important escola in Rio de Janeiro, Mangueira. Mangueira is the oldest escola in Rio, and the director, who's the teacher this year? The director of the bateria from Mangueira. You can't, what's the ad? Priceless.
Right.
It's priceless.
Right. Well, and the thing I find about Brazil Camp as well is you're living it, and the thing about it's kind of culture as a contact sport.
Correct.
I like to
Correct.
say. you're living it from breakfast all the way through bedtime.
You know what I think? I think it just now occurred to me. It's sort of like, those fantasy baseball camps.
Exactly.
This is a fantasy Brazilian music camp because you're having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with your heroes.
Now you're an educator all over the place, at a university setting, private workshops, private students, many recordings all over the world. So obviously much admired. And so what advice would you give to a student who sees you as a great role model for your multi-faceted percussion, your ability to read, your ability to illuminate, not just play the music, but, tell the story behind it? What would you tell somebody who wants to follow in your footsteps?
I think since we don't have all night, and I think really two things. There's no such thing as too much training. There's no such thing as I have too much knowledge. Meaning, in the modern world, learn to read music, learn the history of the music, learn the background of the music, learn to play your instrument. Study every day. Something. Study every day. So then the second part of that means you got to work hard. No matter how much talent you have, everybody has talent.
Right.
Work ethic. But again, no such thing as too much training. And really all the training is following your own curiosity, right? The reason that I'm, as you put it, facile in a bunch of different environments is that, well, you hear somebody play something maybe outside of what you're working on now, and you go, boy, that sure sounds a lot like that thing that I'm working. Well, where's that? Well, let me investigate. And so if you just follow your curiosity, you sort of end up burying yourself in, why did I have to be so curious? But in my case, I think the outcome of that then was this, I just ended up learning a bunch of stuff because I thought it was so cool to study it. And it does mean maybe to a degree, let's be honest, you can't master everything, and so I consider myself a master of nothing.
Well, one bit of advice you gave me before we closed was this notion that, we can never be the equal of anybody, that's far, far superior. But we can always have our own voice and find our own path and really sound uniquely ourselves.
And I would say, in my case, that I'm able to go anywhere and have a sense of what my musical voice is without quote unquote shame or feeling like, well, I'm not living up to that standard. Well, that's that person's standard. I have to have my own.
Right. Well, Michael Spiro, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
California Brazil Camp, an exciting place to be. You make it more so because of the depth of knowledge that you bring, and also the passion that you have for this wonderful music we call, Afro-Brazilian, Afro-Caribbean music.
Thank you so much.